How you doing? I'm Darren with Kickin BBQ. If this is your first time to the channel, then welcome. If you've been here before, then welcome back. Today, we are going to be smoking up some beef cheeks on the Z-Grills 1100 2B. Now, I have not done a smoked beef cheek video in quite some time, if at all. I can't even remember, but they are one of my favorite things to smoke up. I love beef cheek street tacos. It's absolutely amazing. So we're going to be using a brisket rub on these beef cheeks and some party rub on there. We're gonna get some nice smoke on them. We're gonna get a little smoked beef tallow in the wrap and get them nice and tender. We're hopefully gonna get a few slices to show you on camera, but the rest are getting shredded up for tacos later on this week. But I figured I'd bring you along for the cook. So let's get in and get these beef cheeks prepped up right now. All right, so here is our pack of beef cheeks right here. I picked them up from Sam's Club. It was $22.94 for 4.8 pounds of these beef cheeks. And if you've never bought beef cheeks before, sometimes they can be pretty gnarly when you take them out of the package. So let's get these opened up and see how they're looking and what kind of trimming we have to do to them. All right, so like I said, this is the beef cheek right here, and it is pretty gnarly. You can use some of this trim for other things, but really what we're going for is this piece right here and this piece right here. So I'm just gonna start taking these loose chunks off. All right, so here are our beef cheeks. You can see they're pretty well trimmed up. These are very tough and firm, so it's gonna take quite a bit to get them broken down and tender. This is as much as I'm gonna trim them down. Like I said, for those scraps and those fat, you can make tallow, you can throw them in the crock pot and get them nice and tender, use them for tacos. I like using the actual beef cheeks for tacos, but it is completely up to you. And now we kind of have what we're looking for here. There's still a little bit of hard fat back here, but I'm just gonna leave that and it's gonna render out, and when we go to shred these up, they'll look just fine. I'm probably gonna slice them up today on camera and then shred them up for tacos. But you can see, I mean, nice looking meat right there, but you can tell just by handling that it is very tough and is gonna take quite a bit to break it down. So I fully anticipate these going up to 214, 212, somewhere in there internally. Now the first rub we're coming in with today is just the brisket rub I've been using for a while. It's 1.5 cups of black pepper, 1/2 cup of Diamond Crystal kosher salt, 1/8 cup of Lowry's, and 1/8 cup of granulated garlic. We should get some really nice bark on these from that. So I'm just gonna come through and season them up. The next rub we're coming on with today is the Tailgater's Barbecue Party Rub. This just has some great beefy flavor that pairs very, very well with the beef cheeks, and it goes well with this brisket rub we have on here. We'll get that all pressed in. We'll flip it over and we'll repeat the process on the top side. We'll get that pressed in. Then I'm just gonna pick up the excess on the board with these beef cheeks. All right, so now that we have the beef cheeks all seasoned up, I'm just gonna let them kind of sweat in. I'm gonna get the Z-Grills 1100 2B fired up to 275 degrees, and we're just gonna let these smoke for quite a while. I mean, I'm looking for an internal temperature of 170, 180 probably before we even wrap them up. I'm gonna go by the color. I want the bark to set up nicely, but these are looking good. They're smelling good. I'm really excited to try these out. So I will meet you out at the Z-Grills 1100 2B, and we will get these on 275 degrees, and they're gonna smoke for a very long time. All right, so we have the Z-Grills rocking at 275 degrees. I'm gonna get this open. Just ignore that rack of ribs. That is for another video. So be sure to check that out when it drops, if it's not out already. We're going to get these beef cheeks on. You can see we have some good smoke rolling here. They are looking really good. All right, so now that we have the beef cheeks on, we are just gonna let them go for at least 2 hours before we even bother checking in on them. So we will see you in 2 hours. All right, so here are our beef cheeks after 2.5 hours. You can see we have some great bark on there, and they're starting to loosen up a little bit, but not a ton. They still feel pretty tight. I mean, we're sitting at like 180 degrees here, and you can see the probe is kind of gliding buttery, but it's definitely not quite tender. I think we'll probably need another 45 minutes to an hour on these, But man, they are looking really good right there. I mean, we have some solid bark. That bark built up quickly with that brisket rub and of course the tailgaters. So I'm very excited to get these wrapped up and see how they turn out. So let's get these wrapped up. All right, so to wrap these up, I just have some smoked beef tallow here. I'm just gonna come in and take a little bit of that out and put that down. It smells phenomenal, that nice smokiness to it from the post oak that I used. There we go, a couple little tablespoons right there. That is looking wonderful, just to melt down and have a little bit of a confit almost in there. Not quite, because it's not completely submerged, but we're gonna get a little liquid in there so we can help braise it up, and what's better than smoked beef fat. All right, so now we're just gonna take the beef cheeks and get them in this foil wrap, just like so. Get this closed up. All right, and there we go. I'm gonna get these on for another hour and we'll see how they're looking. They should be done by then. We're gonna be taking these a little bit past probe tender because we wanna eventually shred them. I'm hoping I can find that fine line of being able to slice it for you, show it how it looks, but then shred it up and make some tacos later. So the weather is terrible outside. We have 40-mile-an-hour winds. It's raining / sleeting / snowing. That is March in Minnesota for you. So I don't know if I'll be able to bring you back outside. I don't wanna ruin my camera, but I'm gonna get these back on 275 degrees for 1 hour. I'll check for tenderness. If they're done, I'll bring you in, show you what that looks like. Otherwise, the next time you see these, they'll be done and ready to go. We'll see you then. All right, so it has been another 45 minutes since we wrapped these, and man, they feel so tender. Look at the bark on there. It looks wonderful. It smells great and just absolutely butter. Zero resistance on these beef cheeks. So yeah, I mean, they're looking really good. The bark is set up nicely and I'm just really happy with how these turned out. So now I'm gonna let them rest for a little while and I'm just gonna wrap them up and leave them right here just like this for probably about an hour, half hour to an hour. Just let them start to come down a little bit and relax. We'll slice into them and see how we did, shred it up, see how we did. I can't wait. So we'll see you in 30 minutes to an hour and see how these are turning out. All right, so we have let these beef cheeks rest for about an hour now. I'm gonna get one out here and just show you how it's looking. Check that out. Nice bark, nice and juicy. Let's just slice it in half and see how it looks. Check that out. Extremely juicy. Nice rendered fat in there. Let's get a slice of this off of here. Check that out. Look at how juicy that is. Great bark on there. Check out how tender it is. Just pulls apart effortlessly. Let's go ahead and try this after we shred one up. All right, so here is the half of the one that we sliced, and I'm just gonna show you. This just pulls apart effortlessly. It is so tender, and there is a ton of moisture in there. These make great street tacos. I highly recommend giving that a try with this. But yeah, look at the moisture, look at the tenderness. Let's give this a try. All right, so let's go ahead and try this slice right now. Very tender, very smoky, has great flavor from that brisket rub, as well as the Tailgater's barbecue party rub. That bark is almost like sticky on the outside. It's caramelized up. That is really good. Let's try some of this pulled right here. Very tender, very juicy. That with some cilantro and onions on a corn tortilla would pair absolutely perfect together. And this is a pretty quick cook. You're looking at under 3-4 hours, depending on what temp you want to cook at. You can cook this at 300 degrees. You can cook it lower and slower. It's completely up to you. But 275 degrees was the sweet spot for about a 3.5 hour cook, and everything turned out awesome. As always, I'll have everything I used in this video in the description below. Feel free to check it out. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell, stay safe, and we will see you next time.